For 165 million years, Earth belonged to them. They were titans of the land, rulers of the seas, and masters of the skies. They were the dinosaurs, creatures of unimaginable power and majesty. But then, 66 million years ago, their reign ended in a single catastrophic moment. In just one day, the thunderous roar of the T-Rex fell silent. The world they had dominated vanished, replaced by a barren, lifeless landscape. What kind of force could possibly erase such giants so swiftly? The mystery of their sudden disappearance has fascinated us for centuries, and today we're going to journey beyond the myths to uncover the most compelling scientific truths behind the greatest extinction event in the history of our planet. Stick around to find out what really happened.
For 66 million years, a mystery has haunted our planet. What really killed the dinosaurs? The answer wasn't born on Earth, but fell from the sky. Deep beneath Mexico's Yucatan Peninsula lies the crucial evidence, the Chicxulub crater, a colossal scar 180 kilometers wide, an eternal reminder of the day the sky fell. The culprit? An asteroid. Now try to imagine this, a mountain of rock, 10 kilometers across, roughly the size of Mount Everest, weighing trillions of tons. It's hurtling toward our planet at over 70,000 kilometers per hour, 20 times faster than a rifle bullet. The collision is inevitable. The moment of impact unleashes energy equivalent to 10 billion atomic bombs, a force that dwarfs all of humanity's weapons combined. This wasn't just an explosion, it was geological annihilation. The shock wave from this cataclysmic event rippled across the entire globe, triggering earthquakes beyond anything we can measure today, perhaps a magnitude 10 or even 11. These quakes sent towering tsunamis, hundreds of meters high, surging across the oceans, wiping out coastal life in an instant. Within minutes, superheated rock and debris were blasted back into the atmosphere, a fiery rain that fell across the planet, igniting global firestorms and incinerating forests from continent to continent. Any dinosaur near the impact zone vanished instantly, vaporized in a flash of unimaginable heat and pressure. But for the countless creatures that survived the initial blast, the earthquakes and the tsunamis, their true nightmare was only just beginning. The sky turned dark, the sun disappeared, and a long, cold winter, unlike any other, descended upon the earth. The world that had belonged to the dinosaurs for millions of years was about to change forever.
The greatest devastation didn't come from the impact itself, but from the changing skies. Dust, soot, and sulfur aerosols were blasted high into the atmosphere, wrapping the Earth in a thick blanket. This triggered a terrifying phenomenon known as an impact winter, a period of global darkness that stretched on for years. Temperatures across the planet plummeted, but worst of all, the darkness halted photosynthesis. Without sunlight, the plants died. And when the very foundation of the food web vanished, the entire chain collapsed. Giant herbivores starved, and massive carnivores like T-Rex soon found themselves without prey. They were simply too big, too specialized to adapt. This prolonged, freezing darkness wiped out an estimated 75% of all species on Earth. It was natural selection at its most brutal. It wasn't the strongest that survived, but the smallest and most adaptable.
You've probably heard that an asteroid wiped out the dinosaurs. But have you ever wondered how we know it was an asteroid and not something else, like a supervolcano or a massive disease outbreak? For decades, this was one of science's biggest mysteries. Was it a slow decline or a sudden catastrophic event? The clues, it turns out, weren't in the bones, but in the rocks themselves. Imagine traveling back in time 66 million years. The world is a vibrant green paradise, ruled by magnificent dinosaurs. Then, in a single terrible moment, everything changes. A giant rock from space, more than 6 miles wide, smashes into the Earth with the force of billions of atomic bombs. The impact triggers a global cataclysm, leading to the end of the age of reptiles. It sounds like science fiction, right? But the evidence is written in stone all over the world. So, how did scientists crack this cosmic cold case? The story begins with a father and son team, Luis and Walter Alvarez. In the late 1970s, they were studying a peculiar layer of clay in Italy. This thin, dark line in the rock strata marked the exact moment the dinosaurs vanished. Geologists call it the KPG boundary, for the Cretaceous-Paleogene boundary. It's like a geological tombstone for an entire era. When the Alvarezes analyzed this layer, they found something that just shouldn't be there, a huge spike in the element iridium. Now, iridium is super rare on Earth's surface. Most of it sank to our planet's core when it was forming. But you know where iridium is incredibly common? In asteroids and comets. Finding this much iridium, not just in Italy, but in rock layers of the same age all around the globe, was the smoking gun. It was a cosmic fingerprint left at the scene of the crime. This global iridium layer pointed to one conclusion: a massive extraterrestrial object had collided with Earth. But the evidence doesn't stop there. As more scientists looked at the KPG boundary, they found other telltale signs of a high-energy impact. They discovered grains of what's called shocked quartz. This isn't your everyday quartz. Its internal crystal structure has been fractured in a unique pattern that can only be formed by the immense pressure of an impact. You can't get it from a volcano. They also found tiny glass spheres called tektites. These are droplets of rock that were instantly melted by the unimaginable heat of the collision, flung into the atmosphere, and then rained back down across the planet. Together, the global iridium layer, the shocked quartz, and the tektites all point to a single devastating event. It wasn't a slow burn, it was a sudden, violent end. The evidence is overwhelming. The demise of the dinosaurs was a cosmic tragedy of epic proportions, a stark reminder of how fragile life can be.
Picture this, a colossal rock, miles wide, hurtling through the silent darkness of space. Its target? Earth. The impact that followed was catastrophic, an event that wiped out nearly 75% of all species on our planet, including the mighty dinosaurs. For over 150 million years, they were the undisputed rulers of Earth. In a single fiery day, their reign was over. It was an apocalypse, a planetary reset button. But from this unimaginable devastation, a new story began. The story of us. Before the impact, our earliest mammal ancestors were tiny shrew-like creatures. They lived in the shadows, scurrying through the undergrowth, hiding in burrows, and only daring to come out at night. For them, the world was a terrifying place, dominated by giant reptilian predators. A T-Rex's footstep was a death sentence. But the asteroid changed everything. When the dust settled and the fires died down, the great predators were gone. The world was suddenly quiet, empty, and full of opportunity. This empty world became a playground for the survivors. The small, adaptable mammals that had weathered the storm in their underground shelters emerged into a new dawn. With the competition gone, they exploded in diversity. Over the next few million years, a geological blink of an eye, they evolved to fill every vacant ecological niche. Some returned to the water, becoming the ancestors of whales and dolphins. Others took to the trees, leading to the primates. And from one of those primate branches, eventually, came humans. Without that cataclysmic event 66 million years ago, without the day the sky fell, we simply would not be here. The story of the dinosaurs' extinction is more than just ancient history. It's a profound lesson about our own place in the cosmos. It reminds us that we are part of a much larger, dynamic universe, and our planet's fate can be altered in an instant by forces beyond our control.
This forces us to look up at the stars, not just with wonder, but with a healthy respect for the potential dangers lurking in the dark. It drives us to develop technologies to track near-Earth objects and protect our world. We are, in a very real sense, the children of a cosmic catastrophe. Learning from it isn't just an academic exercise, it's a matter of survival.
So tell me, when the dinosaurs vanished, which species do you think was the luckiest survivor?
Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this journey through time, don't forget to like and subscribe for more.